My name is Brooke Hoover. I'm an associate producer for Bob and the Showgram on G105. I've been doing this since 2011.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school at the University of Rhode Island. I'm from Durham, but I went to college up there and I majored in print journalism, so kind of the opposite of what I'm doing now, but that was my major.
What kind of internships did you do prior to your position here?
Internships are really important. I did an internship here for the Showgram after I'd already graduated, and I basically just sat and answered phones. I did social media, I did the website, I did events, like if there were, a concert, one of the artists we played on G105, I was there. I just really tried to do a little bit of everything. Of course, there was stapling papers and printing off things as well. But and then I talked on air a little bit, a few times as an intern, just kind of learning the ropes. I got a little bit of editing too, behind the scenes for audio clips and weather and stuff like that.
Were you certain that this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, initially I wanted to write for a newspaper, that was a horrible idea because apparently they're dying. Everything's online. But after the first day of this internship, I said, this is what I want to do. First day, maybe hour two, I was like, this is the best thing ever. This is what I want to do. Went home, told my dad. He was so thrilled. Told him I wasn't going to go to law school anymore. But yeah, I just knew this was so cool, so amazing, so unique, and I just, tried really hard to impress them during my internship so I could get hired, because I knew I didn't pursue any other jobs because I knew this is what I wanted to do.
So besides the internship, as they were able to get to know you and saw your work ethic, but besides that, did you have any other, did you have a web portfolio or anything that said that, this is what I can do media-wise, or was it just
I pretty much came into the internship blind. I knew how to write, and that was my skill set. I was a really good writer. I didn't have any editing experience. I didn't have any experience but I was willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of winged it. During the internship, I just built on that and just kind of pulled some air checks. And air checks are basically the times I was on air. I kind of edited those and kind of made a little demo reel, I guess, of me being on air to send out to other radio stations, but they ended up hiring me here, so I didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm. And how long was your internship here?
My internship was from June 2011 to the end of August 2011, so the summer after I graduated from college.
Was that paid?
It was not a paid internship.
Okay.
I was living with my parents, and they loved that after college, but they could see that I was going to have a future in this, so they let me live at home, did an unpaid internship, and got hired.
So that must have been a difficult decision in taking, just upon graduation, taking an internship that wasn't paid, and yes, you did have the support, but were you scared that, you could be doing this, even though the experience might be great, there's a big problem nowadays that everything is so competitive when you graduate to get a job. Was that scary to take that risk? And
yeah, when I first graduated, I was freaking out because my plan was to go to law school, and then I was just doing this internship for fun. Mm-hmm. So it's really, really hard to try. I'm not the most talented person, but I'm the hardest worker. So I think that's really, I knew I could work hard. I knew I could learn. But yes, it was very scary at first because I had no clue what I was doing, no background, but I just knew this is what I wanted and nothing else.
I remember when they were looking at candidates and they had you do a bit on the radio where you just had to talk about something. Do you want to explain that?
Yes. So when I was trying out to be the new co-host, again, I was in print journalism. I'd never been on the air on a microphone in front of a camera. So basically, they opened up the mics and said, hey, speak for 5 minutes about anything. 5 minutes in the radio world or television when you are just talking with no commentary is terrifying when you're new to it. I mean, it was just, I don't really know what I said. I kind of blacked out for a second and just kept talking because you think, wow, I've got to be talking for about 10 minutes, and it's only been 45 seconds. That was really difficult. I think I could do it now, maybe if I was talking about a subject, but he kind of just randomly said, talk for 5 minutes. And I just started talking about myself, I guess, and that was hard. It was difficult.
Compared to the internship, how has your daily duties here, how have they changed?
Well, the internship set me up and taught me a lot for this job, obviously, because I interned here. I'm hired here. But yeah, a lot more responsibility now. I was just on the air a few times. Now I'm a co-host. I'm on the air a lot. So it kind of trained me to speak on the air gradually, and definitely behind the scenes, under pressure, under stress, working. When you're on a live show, you have no time to think about your mistakes. You have to be on to the next thing because you're live. You can't just sit there and think, oh man. So I think that my internship really prepared me for that. It's always quick, always on your feet. You have to be on to the next thing before it's even happened. And I think that really prepared me. But how it's different, just a lot more responsibility, a lot more, if you mess up, you're just the intern. It's just, oh, she's just the intern, but this is my job now. Longer hours, definitely, but more fun, even more fun than an internship.
You have your wonderful co-anchors and co-workers here. Is that a good network of people that have helped you and supported you through your career so far?
Could you want to be honest? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so the people I work with, I think the show is so successful because we actually get along and we're actual friends. And we're the weirdest group of people you've ever met, but somehow we all mesh. Like, we have a 47-year-old man with a wife and kids, and this other guy's been divorced 3 times, and this girl in her 30s, and I'm, in my 20s, and just kind of learning from them just in life. They're older. They've been in radio. Bob's been in radio for 25 years. Eric's been in radio for 12. Alec's been 20 plus years, and just kind of they've shared their mistakes with me so I don't make them as much, but just learning from them. And it's difficult to be on air sometimes, sharing your lives, sharing your breakups and relationships, and sometimes you just cry on air, but it's good to know that you're not alone, because if you're sitting in the room crying alone, that would be bad. But we all have done it on air, so it's kind of cool that they're there too, sharing their lives as well, so you have someone to relate to.
Now, do you see yourself in radio for the rest of your time, or do you have other aspirations after this?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be on the air for the rest of my life, because realistically, you can't be talking about Justin Bieber and the Grammys at age 60, so I love being on air, and I want to be on air for a long, long time, but I think eventually I'd want to go into more producing, behind the scenes, kind of in charge of a show, working and developing with other people, maybe consulting for other morning shows, kind of what I've learned. I think that would be a good plan, because I don't know if I can keep these hours up when I'm in my 50s or 60s. 3:30 in the morning is kind of rough.
And don't you think that that's why, like, Bob is, he picks these people to work with that are so young, and that kind of keeps him young? So do you think that maybe you'd see the same setup for yourself if you did become a producer?
Yeah, if I was a producer, I would definitely have to surround myself with young people that have a lot of energy, because not only do you have to get up at 3:30, you have to get up and have energy on the air, so I would definitely surround myself with young people, or not necessarily young, but just energetic, young at heart, or just people that love life, because you can't hate your job at 3:30 in the morning. You just can't.
So have you thought about going into broadcasting, but in television?
I did television for a week for a local television, and it was not my thing. I never want to be. I get to dress like this every day. This is no makeup, just baseball hat. I had to get up at 2:15, do hair and makeup. Honestly, that's like the number one reason I don't want to, because I can't wear my yoga pants on TV. And I don't like, you can't free flow. On radio, you can give your opinion. You can just have a stream of conscious conversation. But on television, you have to stick to the script. You can't really laugh that much. You can't really say your opinion on the news, and you definitely can't just ad-lib and make fun of each other. That's not acceptable.